Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from the Atlantic Wrestling Federation as JVG 31 first in line tonight at the Turnstile. We are in Mobile, Alabama at the Mobile Civic Center. Barbara 113, good evening to you, our good friend Barbara. We are here at the Mobile Civic Center with action from the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. Got a huge grudge match, steel cage showdown in our main event tonight. Big John Studd taking on his longtime rival Blackjack Mulligan. Tensions between these two erupted once again this year at the 2026 Buckeye Bowl. Also involved in that was Angelo Mosca, the newest signee to the Heenan family. Mosca will be meeting Bobo Brazil in a dog collar match 1 week from tonight at our next Heartland YouTube production event. Our next hype show 1 week from tonight will pit Mosca and Bobo Brazil. Tonight it is Studd versus Mulligan in the steel cage. Captain Carl 8230 joins us here tonight. Also here in Mobile, we will have a #1 contenders match for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship as Tony Atlas battles Eric Young, and the winner of that match will also go to next week's hype show to challenge for the Atlantic Paul Orndorff. Also in tonight's Grudge match, we'll take on Luke Gallows, and we'll have a tag team match to open the show here shortly. Before we went to air, actually these matches took place yesterday. Opening the show, it was the Briscoe brothers, Mark and Jay Briscoe, getting the win over Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito, when Mr. Fuji was pinned by Mark Briscoe following a doomsday device executed by the Briscoe brothers. Dusty Rhodes dominated Tom Jenkins in our second match tonight, winning that easily with the figure 4 leg lock. And just before we came to air, we did see Bobo Brazil himself in action against Luthez. And that match ended in disqualification when Angelo Mosca came to the ring and assaulted Bobo Brazil. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we just appeared to have some sort of a crash, and now it appears like we may be back. So if you can now hear this, give me a thumbs up or some sort of acknowledgement in the chat that we have made it back onto the airwaves. We were just going through the card for tonight. All right, once again, it seems that we may be back. Gonna try this one more time. Am I back online? Let us see what is happening here. It says I am live. And it says I'm not receiving good tone, but I seem to be live on OBS, and I seem to be live on YouTube, and I am kind of breaking in and out. There he is now. It says Barbara 113. Yes, we're back. Okay, well, thank you all for bearing with me, as it does appear that we are back. So let's just go ahead and jump in to tonight's televised matchups as Big John Studd and Blackjack Mulligan prepare for the main event later on this evening. But we are going to get things kicked off tonight with tag team action here in Mobile, Alabama. The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a standard Atlantic Wrestling Federation tag team matchup, but one that I wanted to get on the channel. Introducing first, collectively representing the Golden Dynasty, from Robbinsdale, Minnesota. He stands at 6'3". He weighs 256 pounds. This is Mr. Perfect Curt Hennig. And his tag team partner hails from Omaha, Nebraska. He is the leader of the Golden Dynasty. He stands at 6'3". He weighs 245 pounds. This is the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. So Ted DiBiase and Curt Hennig set for tag team action tonight representing the Golden Dynasty. And their opponents, collectively known as the Phenomenal Rednecks, out of Leapers Fork, Tennessee, standing at 6'1", weighing 227 pounds. This is Cowboy James Storm. And his tag team partner hails from Gainesville, Georgia, standing at 5'11" and weighing 215 pounds. This is the phenomenal AJ Styles. All right, so the Phenomenal Rednecks set to move out against the Golden Dynasty here tonight in Mobile, Alabama. And yeah, I did enjoy watching the Royal Rumble yesterday. As we said so long to AJ Styles from his WWE career. And gosh, what a great wrestler, what a great human being, what a great ambassador for the sport. And a fine match, a good way to go out against Gunther. He fought as hard as he could fight, and in the end went down fighting. So congratulations to AJ Styles on an outstanding career. And his career will live on, of course, here in the Filsinger Games universe, as he is set for tag team action tonight, along with his new partner, Cowboy James Storm, reliving some TNA glory here against Mr. Perfect and the $1 Million Man. And it will be AJ to start things off against Curt Hennig. And gosh, who wouldn't have wanted to see that match when both men were in their prime? AJ Styles and Curt Hennig come together in the center of the ring, and it is Curt Hennig taking the opening initiative and attempting a hip toss, but AJ, with the superior agility, dodges the hip toss and comes back with a leapfrog drop kick that stuns Curt Hennig. AJ now in control, going for the springboard 450 splash. That is a thing of beauty indeed. And Styles again stuns Curt Hennig with that move. Styles now follows up with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Curt Hennig, and on a roll of 6, that's going to be a reversal as Hennig grabs the arm of Styles, whips him across the other way, and it is Hennig with a big kick that stuns AJ Styles. Hennig now in control for the first time, coming out with a snapmare. putting AJ down on the canvas. Hennig going to follow that up with a whip to the turnbuckle of his own. And as Styles comes off the turnbuckle, it is both men going for a big specialty move. And Hennig, the man on offense, will gain control. And he's got a chance to do some damage here to AJ Styles. And he is going to push AJ Styles out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Out of the ring we go. Both these men B-rated brawlers. And on a roll of 9, it will be Curt Hennig winning the brawl with a throat drop onto the steel security railing. An unfortunate turn of events there for AJ Styles. Curt Hennig waiting in the center of the ring. He goes to the axe. And AJ slowly getting to his feet. Hennig will tag in his partner, Ted DiBiase, now for the first time. DiBiase hits the ring with a gut wrench suplex. And Styles tumbles out of the ring and once again down to the arena floor. Out of the ring we go again. And once again, this time it is Ted DiBiase winning the brawl on the arena floor. And on a roll of 10, that is the, that's the foreign object roll. Ted DiBiase bringing into play a bottle. Must have stolen a beer bottle off of out of James Storm's possession. And he wails on AJ Styles with that bottle. Will he be disqualified? No, the match will continue. As AJ Styles now is going to be pitched out of the ring a second time by Ted DiBiase. And on the arena floor, this time it is AJ who wins the brawl on the arena floor with a pile driver onto the ring steps. Good move there by AJ to take control against Ted DiBiase. AJ now in control with a Pele kick that stuns DiBiase. And now it is a double team opportunity for the Rednecks. And on a roll of 7, it is a running forearm, it is a bone-crunching double clothesline delivered by Styles and Storm. And James Storm now becomes the legal man in the ring for the first time here for the Rednecks. And it is Storm going right to the closing time. He's going to go for the cover. The pinroll here would be Snake Eyes, and that ain't going to happen. But Ted DiBiase has eaten the first point of fatigue of this match. Storm follows that up with the Eye of the Storm. That is an add 1 maneuver. And he's going to go right for the cover again. The pinroll now would be a 4. And on a roll of 10, it is DiBiase again able to kick out. Tag to AJ Styles. And on the double team attempt, this time it is a running forearm smash delivered by AJ Styles that puts Ted DiBiase back down on the canvas on his $1 million keister. And AJ now back in control with a leapfrog dropkick. DiBiase going to try and get over and make the tag, and on a roll of 5, he is able to tag in Curt Hennig. Hennig now the fresh man in the ring for the Golden Dynasty. Hennig now comes out with a series of punches. And AJ is going to fire right back. AJ with an arm drag takes Hennig over and down to the canvas. Styles just that quickly back in control. And Styles again with a whip to the turnbuckle. These two have battled back and forth on the turnbuckle several times, and this time it is AJ Styles with a big kick that stuns Curt Hennig. Styles follows that up. He's going to attempt a swinging neck breaker here. This is a choice F maneuver. He will need 7 or lower to complete the swinging neck breaker. And on a roll of 10, Hennig is able to block the neck breaker and take back over control on offense. And now it is a snapmare by Curt Hennig that puts AJ down onto the canvas. AJ unable to make the quick tag. Hennig maintains control now with a running knee lift. AJ stunned, slowly getting to his feet. Hennig stays on him with another running knee lift. And this one knocks AJ Styles out of the ring and down to the arena floor once again. This is the 3rd time AJ has been on the arena floor. He doesn't really prefer to conduct his business on the floor. But once again, this time it is the double DQ brawl. AJ Styles will not be disqualified. Curt Hennig will also not be disqualified. So we go to the odd even roll, and it is AJ winning the brawl on the arena floor and just pitching Curt Hennig into the crowd. And the crowd is not very happy about that. They want nothing to do with Curt Hennig. And Curt Hennig slowly makes his way back into the ring. AJ's waiting, and AJ is going to hit him with a phenomenal DDT. Just like that, AJ goes for the cover, and Hennig is forced to kick out. AJ now back in control is going to go out of the ring again. And once again, oh, this time it's AJ hitting a big maneuver. A flying plancha over the top rope. Curt Hennig may be counted out here on a roll of 3 or lower, but Hennig able to make it back into the ring just in time. Another double team opportunity for the phenomenal Rednecks. And on a roll of 8, it is an awesome double neck breaker delivered by AJ Styles and James Storm. Great chemistry being shown by these two men. Cowboy now in the ring and in control with a lung blower. He's going to go for the cover again, and again Hennig forced to kick out. So gosh, the Rednecks have dominated this match so far, and now it is Storm with the last call. The pin roll here is 6 or lower. DiBiase not able to make the save, but on a roll of 7, Hennig barely able to kick out. The Golden Dynasty is in trouble here. Ted DiBiase is coming into the ring to interfere, but on a roll of 8, it is the referee putting Ted DiBiase out of the ring. That will give Hennig just a moment to recover, but Storm is still in the ring and in control as this match continues. And the Golden Dynasty has now used up all of their pin saves. And it is James Storm now with an inverted atomic drop and a lariat, and Hennig is stunned. Cowboy is going to follow that up now with a jawbreaker. Hennig getting to his feet very slowly. Hennig comes at him with a hip toss, taking Storm over and down to the canvas. They get back to their feet. Storm is the first one to get to his feet, and he is going to send Curt Hennig into the turnbuckle. Hennig coming off the turnbuckle, and oh, on a roll of 10, that is both men trying to hit their big specialty moves. Cowboy James Storm has that A rating on the turnbuckle, so he gets the advantage. And he is going to pitch Curt Hennig out of the ring yet again. Storm also with the advantage on the out of the ring rolls. And sure enough, on a roll of 9, it's going to be Storm putting a whooping on AJ Styles. Putting a whooping on Curt Hennig outside the ring with an Irish whip into the ring steps. Another double team opportunity for the Rednecks here. And on a roll of 8, another awesome double neck breaker executed. AJ Styles now the legal man in the ring. Curt Hennig is at his mercy. And it's going to be the Styles Clash. Styles Clash applied to Curt Hennig. Styles goes for the cover, and on a roll of 6, he got it. Wow. A dominant performance by AJ Styles and James Storm. Flawless victory. And Styles gets the pinfall over Curt Hennig by way of the Styles Clash. And man, who doesn't love AJ Styles? If you don't love AJ Styles, you need to have your humanity examined. All right. So that is the conclusion of our first match. Congratulations to AJ Styles and James Storm, the phenomenal Rednecks, for a big victory here in tonight's opening televised match. Miho Burns calls them the new beer money. And perchance he is not wrong. Neely Bob has joined us. Welcome, Neely Bob. Good to see you. Thanks for bearing with me, everybody, as we had some technical issues early in this broadcast, but it does seem like things have stabilized now. I don't love AJ, says Dave Gardner. All right, Dave Gardner, you I have no words to express my contempt for your judgment of the human character. So congratulations to AJ Styles and to James Storm on their big victory. So yeah, Royal Rumble was good yesterday. Kathy Evans joining us. Kathy, good to see you here. Thanks for joining us. And if you did watch the Royal Rumble yesterday, curious to hear your thoughts on the Royal Rumble. And today, of course, we got to hang out at the Filsinger Games Perennial, an online gathering of Filsinger Games players. Great time just hanging out with the crew today. I didn't make it to any of the morning tournaments, but got to spend some time in the afternoon chatting with the people that actually produce the cards that you see on this table. Corey Olson. Corey was not there, but his brother Chad Olson is one of the ringleaders, along with Tim Dalton and Stu Lowry, and all three of them were on the broadcast today, as well as Tom Filsinger himself, talking about legends of wrestling. A guy by the name of Zeke Gould, aka Vegas, who actually signs a lot of these wrestlers, along with Barry Walsh, my good friend from here in the state of Wisconsin. Colonel Pete Beck was on the line. Jack Durakis, aka Loud and Noxious, aka Gavin Loudspeaker. Always great to catch up with Jack. Grant Bachoco, the solo promoter, was there, and a good time was had by all at the Filsinger Games Perennial. The next one scheduled for the first weekend in May. I believe May the 3rd will be the date of the next Filsinger Games Perennial, and it's just an online gathering of people who like to talk about Filsinger Games, and a good time was had by all. So yeah, if you get a chance to do that, I highly recommend it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest is a no disqualification grudge match, which came about as a result of some tag team shenanigans earlier this year. The following contest is scheduled for one fall with no time limit and no disqualification, one fall to a finish. Two members of a growing heated rivalry upcoming here. Introducing first out of Honolulu, Hawaii, standing at 5'10", weighing 205 pounds. This is Pat Tanaka. And his opponent hails from Chicago, Illinois. He stands at 6'8". He weighs 290 pounds. This is Doc Gallows. Doc Gallows set to move out against Pat Tanaka in a battle of contrasting sizes, if nothing else. Tanaka, the smaller of the two men in bad company, and Luke Gallows, of course, the bigger member of the Good Brothers. And it was Gallows who inflicted an injury on Paul Diamond with a steel chair at the end of that last tag team match to set up this confrontation here tonight in Mobile, Alabama. And as we come together in the center of the ring, it's going to be Doc Gallows on the attack. And Doc coming with a too sweet and a thrust to the throat. And, he caught him good. Pat Tanaka stunned by that one. And Gallows is going to follow up with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Pat Tanaka, and on a roll of 4, it is Tanaka who lifts a knee to the head of Doc Gallows, and Doc Gallows now is stunned. Pat Tanaka now comes back and just rubs the face of Doc Gallows into the mat. Very impolite move there by Pat Tanaka. Where are your manners? And now it is Pat Tanaka going to pitch Doc Gallows out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Gallows actually the better rated performer on the arena floor, but in a grudge match, we ignore all of those choices, and when it's out of the ring, it's out of the ring. But it is Pat Tanaka, by way of a foreign object, getting the best of Doc Gallows. He's got the knitting needles. Oh my goodness, the knitting needles. Coming into play, Pat Tanaka, where are your manners indeed? Tearing Doc Gallows open with those knitting needles. And Doc Gallows is in a bad way here. Neck breaker drop executed by Pat Tanaka. Doc Gallows is down. And Pat Tanaka with another neck breaker drop. Doc Gallows still has not been able to get back to his feet, and now it is the DDT delivered by Pat Tanaka. He goes for the cover, and Doc Gallows barely able to kick out after the attack of the knitting needles, and then the DDT. And now it is Tanaka with a big headbutt, and Doc Gallows again rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. On the arena floor now it is Doc Gallows grabbing Tanaka by the leg, hauling him out of the ring, and drop kicking or a side kick delivered to Pat Tanaka that sends Tanaka over the security railing and into the crowd. Looks like we had a brief break in the action here again. And yeah, I'm not sure how YouTube is behaving tonight, but Pat Tanaka has been stunned, and as he comes back into the ring, it is going to be Doc Gallows going for a suplex power slam. This is a choice H maneuver. So on choice H, he can either go agility, which would be a 6, or death jump B. So he'll try the death jump version of the suplex power slam, and sure enough, he pays the price as Tanaka moves out of the way of that and rolls through and is going to try for a cover. He can't get the cover despite the handful of tights. Tanaka, after rolling through that attempt at a suplex power slam, is back in control, and Tanaka goes with a spinning double chop. That looked like it had to hurt. He goes for the cover, and again, Doc Gallows kicks out, but Doc Gallows now busted open. As we continue on, as Pat Tanaka is going to pitch Doc Gallows out of the ring yet again, and this time it is Doc Gallows winning the brawl on the arena floor with a pile driver onto the ring steps. Tanaka now is stunned, and Gallows is going to take him out of the ring yet again, and we're going to see shenanigans here in Mobile. Brought to you by Doc Gallows. What is Gallows going to do? He's got his man in a bad way on the arena floor, and he is now going to attempt to set up a table. Doc Gallows has pulled out a table, and on a roll of 2, it is Doc Gallows who is attacked by Pat Tanaka on the ring apron. The table is set up outside the ring, but is lying. Actually, no, the table has not been set up, and instead it is going to be Tanaka who gets who wins the brawl on the arena floor. As Gallows was pulling out the table, Tanaka grabbed him and planted Doc Gallows with a DDT on the concrete. Tanaka now back in control, and Tanaka is going to keep things out of the ring here. And it's going to be Tanaka attempting to finish setting up the table. And Tanaka now has the table set up. Both men rolling back into the ring now. Gallows rolled back into the ring. Tanaka will follow. And it is Doc Gallows who was the first one back into the ring. And it is Gallows who is going to hit Tanaka with a big boot. Tanaka stunned by that. And now a fireman's carry flapjack delivered by Gallows that puts Tanaka on his back. And Tanaka rolls out of the ring yet again. And down to the arena floor we go again. What's going to happen now? The table has been set up. But now it is going to be Doc Gallows obtaining the services of a foreign object. There are no title belts involved in this match, but he's got a ball bat now. Doc Gallows has got himself a ball bat. Pat Tanaka is running for cover, and sure enough, let's see, 5, 4. Sure enough, Doc Gallows is able to score a blow on Pat Tanaka with the baseball bat, and that's going to cost Pat Tanaka a point of fatigue. Mark Ferguson joining us here. Saw Pat on TV with his daddy, Duke Kiwamuka. Grew up with the Von Erich boys, and now has just tasted the ball bat, courtesy of Doc Gallows. And Gallows now is going to go for a finisher. He is going to go for a double shoulder, a big pump handle slam. He goes for the cover, and Pat Tanaka able to kick out from that. Doc Gallows still back in control now, going for that suplex power slam once again. He's going to need a roll of 6 or lower to hit that. Tanaka able to avoid the suplex power slam, and it is Tanaka coming back with a karate chop. Karate chop delivered by Pat Tanaka, and that's going to take Doc Gallows out of the ring once again. On the arena floor it is. Both men going at it tooth and nail on the arena floor, and Doc Gallows is going to win the brawl on the arena floor and just pitch Tanaka into the crowd. And now Doc Gallows going to go once again for that big suplex power slam. And again, it is Tanaka able to avoid that and throw Doc Gallows back down to the mat. 3 times Doc Gallows has tried that suplex power slam, and Tanaka's had the answer every time. And now it is Tanaka going to send Doc Gallows out of the ring yet again. And now it's going to be another outside interference roll, as Paul Diamond has come to ringside. He's still hobbling, but he is now at ringside, and he is going to launch an attack along with Pat Tanaka on Doc Gallows. And Doc Gallows is going to take a pummeling at ringside. Tanaka now back in charge, as Carl Anderson now has come to ringside. All 4 men are at the ringside, but Tanaka dumps Gallows with a DDT and almost got the 3 count. Anderson and Diamond are brawling on the arena floor. Pat Tanaka has control in the ring against Doc Gallows. He hits another super kick on Doc Gallows, and Doc Gallows again able to kick out. Pat Tanaka wailing on Doc Gallows, but Doc Gallows will not stay down. Tanaka now is going to go up for a death jump. And he comes off the top rope and he nails Doc Gallows with a flying clothesline. Tanaka is still in control. He's going to go up for yet another death jump. Now he's going to go for the cover after a perfect cross body block, and on a roll of 5 he got him. Pat Tanaka give the assist to his tag team partner Paul Diamond. Tanaka with the cross body block gets the win here against Doc Gallows in tonight's grudge match, the first grudge match of the night. All right, catching up with the chat. Oh, looks like Neely Bob ducked out. He had some updates for us that I wanted to get to at the end of the match. Brandy Alexander and Barbie Hayden, who have been feuding over the Velvet Championship, are now in the crowd having an argument and had to be escorted out by security. You never know what is going to happen when these Velvet wrestlers show up here in the Heartland. And tonight, no different, as Brandy Alexander and Barbie Hayden putting on some extra fireworks for the crowd here in Mobile, in the middle of the confrontation between Doc Gallows and Pat Tanaka, with the additional involvement of Carl Anderson and Paul Diamond as the feud escalates between the Good Brothers and Bad Company. Good versus bad. Can't get a more natural feud than that. The Good Brothers against Bad Company. And we will see more from those 2 teams down the line. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest is a #1 contenders match for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. As we mentioned at the top of the show, the winner of this match will move on to next week's Hype Show, the pay-per-view broadcast You Can't Touch This, here in Heartland Championship Wrestling. The winner of this match will go on to that show to meet Paul Orndorff for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, out of Florence, Ontario, Canada. He stands at an even 6 foot tall. He weighs 230 pounds. This is Eric Young. And his opponent hails from Roanoke, Virginia. He stands at 6 foot 2 and weighs 250 pounds. This is Tony Atlas. Tony Atlas with the coolest card in all of Legends of Wrestling, and I say that because the art on this card was drawn by Tony Atlas himself. So what a joy it is to have a man of many talents like Tony Atlas making his impact on the Filsinger Games universe. But tonight he's going to have his hands full with Eric Young. You never know what Eric Young is going to have up his sleeve. A devious man indeed, and it is going to be Eric Young on the initiative. This is a #1 contenders match. We'll go ahead and use our championship dice for this, as Eric Young attempts a Death Valley driver on Tony Atlas. That is a power move, and Tony Atlas, as you might presume, by far the more powerful of the two men, and Atlas just shoves him off and nails Eric Young with a set of double chops to the neck. Another set of double chops to the neck. Eric Young backing down as Atlas continues to chop away, and that time he put Young down onto the mat. Eric Young down on the mat, and Atlas is going to pitch, is not going to let Eric Young escape the ring. Instead, Atlas is going to hold Young in the ring and chop him again right across the neck. Atlas going to work on the neck of Eric Young. Now he's going to attempt a bear hug. This is a choice F maneuver, choice F. So he will need a roll of 7 or lower to catch the bear hug, and he's got him. Eric Young locked into that bear hug, and now Eric Young is going to slip out of the ring and down to the arena floor. But on the arena floor, it is Tony Atlas just wailing on Eric Young yet again, hurling Eric Young into the crowd. The crowd seeing all kinds of action tonight. Eric Young may be counted out. He will not. As now Tony Atlas is back in control, and Tony Atlas now has got a crushing full Nelson applied. Crushing full Nelson applied by Tony Atlas. Eric Young struggling. And now Tony Atlas is going to attempt that bear hug yet again. And this time he successfully completes the bear hug again. And now Eric Young is showing signs of fatigue. Atlas with a chance to do some damage here. He goes for the press slam and splash. That's his finisher. The pin roll here is 5, and on a roll of 7, Eric Young able to kick out. A little too fresh to give it up quite yet, but Atlas has taken control. Atlas now, again, not going to let Eric Young slip out of the ring, and instead it's a jumping headbutt delivered by Tony Atlas. Eric Young staggered by that, another jumping headbutt. Eric Young now staggers into the ropes. Tony Atlas stays on him with a big drop kick. Eric Young will not go down. He's keeping his feet. Another big drop kick, and again Eric Young still manages to keep his feet. Tony Atlas in control, going back to that bear hug. And once again the bear hug has been applied, and Eric Young is gassed. Atlas stays on him. Whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Eric Young, and on a roll of 7 he reverses that, sending Atlas into the turnbuckle. And as Atlas comes off the turnbuckle, Eric Young nails Atlas with a big kick. And Eric Young now has a chance to get some offense. Here's a back elbow, followed by a discus clothesline by Eric Young. Atlas staggers back a step. Another back elbow, and this time it is blocked by Tony Atlas. And it is Atlas instead with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Eric Young, and on a roll of 8 it is Atlas with a big back body drop that takes Young down to the canvas once again. Back to the double chops as Atlas pounding away on the neck of Eric Young. And Atlas now is going to go up for the death jump. Death jump coming up here by Tony Atlas, and on a roll of 8 it is a flying shoulder tackle off of the top turnbuckle delivered by Tony Atlas. Eric Young is down. Tony Atlas had so much fun with that, he's going to do it again. Oh, but this time it is Eric Young who gets to his feet and throws Tony Atlas off of the turnbuckle and down to the mat. Eric Young now with a chance to do some damage. He's going to go for that spike pile driver. He's going to go for the cover, and on a roll of 9, Tony Atlas able to kick out. Eric Young continuing on the attack, and now another spike pile driver delivered. And this time he got it. Consecutive spike pile drivers by Eric Young, and Eric Young is your winner. Here tonight in Mobile, Alabama, Tony Atlas seemed to have everything going his way, but could not finish the job against Eric Young, and Young caught him. Caught him unexpected when he went up to the top turnbuckle. Eric Young threw him to the canvas. Pile driver number 1, pile driver number 2, and that is all she wrote for Tony Atlas. So congratulations to Eric Young, who will move on to next week's pay-per-view broadcast, You Can't Touch This, where he will face Paul Orndorff for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. And gosh, if Eric Young can beat Tony Atlas, don't count out his chances against Paul Orndorff next week at the pay-per-view. All right, it is now time for your main event of the evening. The steel cage has been lowered, so there will be no foreign objects. There will be no out-of-the-ring action. It's just going to be mano-a-mano in the steel cage. And ladies and gentlemen, your following contest is scheduled for one fall to a finish. Introducing first, out of Los Angeles, California. He stands at 6'10". He weighs 364 pounds. This is Big John Studd. And his opponent hails from Eagle Pass, Texas. Standing at 6'9" and weighing 340 pounds, this is Blackjack Mulligan. So 2 enormous men in the steel cage. And we are ready for action here in Mobile, as it is Big John Studd on the attack to start this match. Bobby Heenan at ringside, cheering on his man, but there's nothing else he can do. Clubbing forearms delivered by Big John Studd. Mulligan standing his ground as Studd attempts a back elbow smash. But Mulligan able to avoid the back elbow smash and return with clubbing forearms of his own. Both men just interested in pounding the stuffings out of each other in the center of the ring. More clubbing forearms delivered by Studd. And Studd now with a backbreaker across the knee, and Mulligan is hurt. Big John Studd, the stronger of the two men. Blackjack Mulligan with a slight advantage in agility. And Studd now with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Blackjack Mulligan, and on a roll of 10, that is a running double clothesline. Both men nailing each other. The wrestler with the better ropes rating recovers first, and that's Blackjack Mulligan. The ring shook from the force of that collision. But Mulligan is the first to his feet, and Mulligan's got him in the Blackjack Claw. Right off of the jump, the Blackjack Claw has been applied. Big John Studd able to fight his way free of that. But Mulligan making the statement, going for the submission here right off of the get-go. And now he is raking the face of Blackjack Mulligan into the cage. Studd slowly trying to get back to his feet, as he'd rather be on his feet than having his face ground into the cage. And now here is Mulligan with another whip to the ropes. Studd coming off the ropes the other way, and it is a running back elbow by Blackjack Mulligan that stuns Big John Studd. The Dufferman is here, as Mulligan now clubs away at Big John Studd with those massive forearms. Massive forearms from Blackjack Mulligan. Big John Studd fires back with another big backbreaker across the knee. And Mulligan slowly getting to his feet. Studd getting to his feet. Studd with the advantage now catches the bear hug. Studd has got Blackjack Mulligan trapped in the big bear hug. Mulligan elbows to the head, trying to get his way free. He is able to get free, but Studd greets him with a headbutt. Big headbutt delivered by Big John Studd. Mulligan fires right back. Mulligan with another whip to the ropes. Off the ropes again comes Big John Studd, and again it is a running back elbow by Big Blackjack Mulligan that stuns John Studd. Mulligan now a big boot to the face, and Studd goes down. Down goes Big John Studd. Mulligan now a back elbow ram. Mulligan keeping on the offensive with a big lariat, and Studd is down yet again. And now Mulligan with another back elbow ram. Studd slowly getting to his feet. Not one technical maneuver seen in this match so far. Running stomp attempted by Blackjack Mulligan and missed. And now Mulligan's got his leg tangled up in the ropes. And Stud is going to beat on Mulligan in the ropes with a big kick. He's working on that leg now. And Stud is going to keep working on the leg of Blackjack Mulligan tied up in the ropes. And now a big neck-breaking clothesline delivered by Big John Studd as Blackjack Mulligan still can't get his leg untangled from the ropes. And Studd has just nailed Blackjack Mulligan with a big lariat across the back of the head. Blackjack Mulligan slumps over, and Big John Studd now has him up in the backbreaker. The backbreaker has been applied. Can Mulligan withstand the backbreaker? He is barely able to survive, and the match will continue with Big John Studd in control. Bobby Heenan beside himself with joy at ringside, as now Big John Studd is going to attempt a double arm suplex. But Blackjack Mulligan able to, let's see, we're going to do that as an agility roll. So the double arm suplex is successful. Mulligan getting to his feet. But Studd stays on him now with another big clothesline. Mulligan will not go down. Whip to the ropes. Mulligan coming off the ropes. Now they're crisscrossing, believe it or not. And now it is Big John Studd nailing Blackjack Mulligan with another huge clothesline as Mulligan came off the ropes. Mulligan is down once again. The backbreaker is in place once again. And this time Blackjack Mulligan is forced to give it up. The big, massive backbreaker by Big John Studd. Finally the deciding factor in this match, as Blackjack Mulligan has been forced to submit by Big John Studd after that backbreaker. So in your main event, your winner in the steel cage is this man, Big John Studd. Big John Studd out of the cage now, celebrating with Bobby Heenan at ringside. They're joined by Angelo Mosca. Members of the Heenan family are celebrating. But Mosca knows that he has got a tough task ahead next week when he faces Bobo Brazil in a dog collar match. All right, that is it for tonight here. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to everybody who was able to bear with us through some technical difficulties. Barbara 113, Dufferman, Miho Burns, Mark Ferguson, Neely Bob, D. Scott Howard. Sorry I missed D. Scott Howard coming in. Dave Gardner came in and made a fool out of himself and left. Kathy Evans was here. Thank you, Kathy, for stopping by. Captain Carl 8320 was here. JVG 31 was here. And I believe that was everybody. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. We'll have a highlight reel show probably Thursday night of this week to follow up on all of this week's action. We've got some big announcements to come from Heartland Ladies Wrestling. That will happen on this week's highlight reel, and we'll have a preview of the full event for next week's pay-per-view. So for everybody, thank you all for tuning in. That's our stream, and I am out of here.